Hello and welcome to a long-awaited episode of the Grow Old Disgracefully podcast because it's been so fucking long. Ruth, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Andy. It really has been quite a long
I'm
time,
sorry,
hasn't it?
I've just realised I've dropped the F word within the first 6 words
Oh
of
dear.
our return.
It might be quite a while since we've spoken, but that is how used to you doing it I am, because I didn't even notice, didn't even register.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, it
Bonus.
feels like we're going to have a lot to catch up on today because of the fact that it's coming up to Christmas. We haven't spoken in like over a month, and
I
there's
know.
a lot going on. I know. I
Yeah.
think last time I spoke to you, was it just before I went to Barbados or just after?
I think just before, wasn't it? And then
Yeah.
we've kind of tried to catch up, but just diaries just conflict, unfortunately. But we're finally back, and we're finally back together doing a podcast. That's what
Yeah.
the people want. That's what we're giving them.
Well, I hope that they enjoy it. I hope they enjoy our ramblings. Andy, what are you doing for Christmas, which is next week?
How mad is that? That's next week. It's crazy. Well, we have Finley's birthday first, so his birthday's the 23rd. So
Is that
we've
3?
got his birthday. Two.
2? Oh, I suppose,
Two,
yeah.
two. So
Yeah.
yes, he's two, which is crazy to think that it's gone so quickly. Because I'm sitting thinking, is he 3 yet? What's going on? And time just flies. Honestly, it just goes way too quick.
People say that, don't they? Like, it will fly by. And I think at the time when you're in that baby stage, it can feel like you're just living, surviving through it. And then next thing
Yeah.
you know, I mean, my eldest turned 16 in January, and I'm like, I'm not old enough to have a 16-year-old Andy. I'm just not. And a
Wait a
14-year-old.
minute.
How did that happen? Yeah, but alas, yeah, it is crazy how quickly it goes.
Yeah.
So you're at home. After that, you're at home for Christmas. You're cooking, I assume.
Actually, we've got a bit of a mixed Christmas this year. So we've got the mother-in-law, the sister-in-law coming up on the 23rd for Finley's birthday. They're staying until Christmas Day in the morning, so they'll have breakfast with us. Then we're going to head down to Laura's dad's in the afternoon on Christmas Day, so we'll drive down over his nap time. So we'll not be doing a Christmas dinner until Boxing Day. So I'll do the cooking on Boxing Day, just because of just not having the ability to be able to prep everything whilst we're also driving down the road. So we'll do our Christmas dinner on Boxing Day. So my dad will come up as well and his partner. So that should be quite good. So yeah, so it's going to be a bit up and down, and then I'm back up because I don't really take much time off over Christmas. I'll have like, depending on how the days fall. So like this year I'll be taking the 25th, 26th off. I'll be back to work on the 27th. 28th is a Sunday, so I don't work a Sunday. And then similarly, I'll take the 1st and the 2nd, back to work on the 3rd, and then back properly on the 5th. So, yeah, so just keep on ticking through. What about you guys? What are you doing? Are you jetting off anywhere sunny, or are you home for?
Hardly, Andy. It's not sunny. I had at all. Like, I think next year I do want to go to Barbados, but no, we decided to go away at Christmas Day because I don't know what we were thinking in the summer. We were at some friends' houses and we were reminiscing about this little cottage we went to stay in, and both of us went when we were kids, and you know how you remember things slightly differently. Anyway, we decided it'd be a good idea to go at Christmas time, but there are a few things we've discovered that we didn't remember from when we were little. So the house that we're going to is in Skye. So we're going to the Isle of Skye for Christmas.
Excellent.
Which from Devon is a long old way. But
it's a long old way from where we are. Never mind from where you are.
Yes, exactly. So we're going up to Skye, and the house that we're staying in has no road access.
So if it's snowing, good luck.
Well, it's on the edge of a sea loch. It's on the edge of a sea loch, and you can't arrive at high tide.
Too much. It's all right, okay.
But so you have to walk. It's a 15-minute walk from the car to the house. Great, going. And
holy shit.
When I was thinking about this, it's basically a very, very distant relative, like really distant relative, owns this place. It's like on my grandma's side of the family, which makes it sound really like we've lost touch with them. But I'm weirdly friends with like my third cousin who hasn't lost touch with these people. And so she's like, oh my God, we should go. And I've only ever been once. And I remember it feeling like this amazing house and we had all the surroundings. But it turns out I was just smaller. And it's not been touched really since then. I would have been in the 80s, and it's we've got to take sleeping bags, and it's got, she said, it's not lived in, it's not really been updated. There's one loo and there's 9 of us, and there's a small oven as well, and we just keep laughing, going, it's going to be so much fun. But I'll send you a picture of
Massive
like where
bonfire.
it is.
Massive
Yeah.
bonfire.
So it's going to
Cooking
be an
on that.
adventure. I know we're going to be making memories, Andy, but
That sounds
it's
awesome. That's the kind of
it'll be
stuff
cool
that
in the
is
summer.
great fun to do. Yeah, I'm not sure about doing it in the height of winter,
Mm.
especially across the west coast. You're pretty ballsy for doing that, but
Well,
hey,
that's what she said. The
it's an
lady that owns
adventure.
it.
It's an adventure.
Yep. Well, she was like, "Wow, well done," and that was what worried me when the owner was saying that. But we're going to go. We'll get it warm, and it will be lovely. I hope. Anyway,
You'll be all good. You'll be all
seemed like
good.
a good idea in the summer. So yeah, we're doing that. But I'm not taking. Oh, I say I'm not taking time off work. I don't have a physical location that I go to for work apart from my
Yeah.
office here. But I will be obviously working with my community during that time. But equally trying to take a bit of time off mentally as well, because it's the thing with work, it, Andy, the thing with working online is you could be working all the time if you wanted to, and
Mm,
stepping away takes a bit of an effort sometimes to do that,
absolutely.
but that's
And
it, you never know.
in terms of obviously working with your community, what are the main points that you've been kind of giving people about
At the
dealing with
moment,
Christmas? Because obviously it's an absolute minefield. You've got everybody and their dog just tries to tell you how you should do it. This is how you should do it. This is how you should eat to keep your 6-pack over Christmas.
it pisses me off, actually. Does it you?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as with like these what I eat in a day posts. See this time of year, it's just you just know all the wanks are going to be coming out on social media giving it, oh, this is how you stay on track at Christmas. Oh, you don't need to stay on track at Christmas. Don't be one of the cool bunch. You can do what you want at Christmas time. And you're just like, just find a happy fucking medium where you're happy. If you overindulge, you overindulge. Happy days. If you decide that you're going to stick to a meal plan, you stick to a meal plan. Don't need to
You do
fucking,
you.
nobody needs to know. Yeah, nobody needs to know. It's fucking, it's like the same as like, oh, it's the weekend. I'm going to start telling everybody how they should deal with their weekends. And it's like, fucking shut up. There's only so many times you can hear this shit before you're like, just fucking bolt. I'm done. I'm done with your chat. Shut up.
So I will tell people, or not tell people, I will advise people on how to manage those times in a way that if you pay attention, it's never, this is what you should do. It would always be like, if you can have a fat loss goal and not focus on fat loss. Like you can. And when I
Yeah.
say just choosing not to, like your goal over Christmas might be just to not completely hit fuck it. Your goal might be like, I just want to be a bit more mindful. I want to make sure that I'm just not constantly going past that point of diminishing return. When we approach Christmas with a scarcity mindset, it's like that one day a year where you've got permission to eat whatever you want. I used to get ill every Christmas because I did that. So now I'll have whatever I want at Christmas. I'm not going to be sitting there going, oh, I shouldn't, because that's no fun. But I will also choose to not have things because I'm like, that's going to make me feel gross. And that's kind of
Yeah.
and that's for me. And other people might have a day of hitting fuck it, and that's up to them. But the main thing is that one day doesn't need to make a massive difference. If you just, I think I had it put nicely. There's a coach online, Josh, is it Taylor? Blah, 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 forgotten. And he said, worry more about what you do between New Year and Christmas than what you do between Christmas and New Year. And that's
Yeah.
nicely put, I think.
It's the same as any kind of holiday, though, isn't it? The reason that the majority of holiday weight isn't put on the holiday is because you keep eating like you're on holiday once you're back. And that's the thing. Like, just because you've got the 25th and 26th, so that, and I'll be honest with you, 25th and 26th, I'll go mental. It's simple as that.
I mean,
There'll be a lot of turkey, there'll be a lot of lamb, there'll be a lot of roast potatoes ingested, and that's fine. I've no issues. But it's when the 27th comes, I'm back to normal from the 27th. So back to normal, get back on normal meal plan. And then the first and the second, I'll probably a bit slacker again, back to business on the third. And I
I
think
mean,
that's for the majority of people is just take a breath and realize that if you have a goal in mind, you kind of have to be a little bit mindful. But at the same point, what's 2 days? Like, what's
Oh,
2 days out of
well,
365 and
the 2 days is people thinking they've ruined it and they might as well wait until January. And then by the time that January comes, they're feeling pretty shit. So we approached
Yep.
it in the with the community as at the beginning of December. I went we do progress goals, and progress goals are just like daily actions or the actions you can take each week in order to get to wherever it is you want to be. So you have your outcome that you want to get to, and we set these progress goals, which change often because not every day, every week is going to be the same. So you're thinking about what you can do. So for December, we thought about how we wanted to feel going into January. Because I think like I just want to feel like I kept a couple of decent habits and feel calm and in control just going into it, just being like, yeah, I did eat more, but I'm okay with that. I made that choice and feel good with it. Just go into January feeling like ready to do whatever it is. If you've got something to push a bit more for, if you're a bit quieter, then do that. But equally, don't expect perfection all the time. It's impossible to do really hard things long term. Really, we can only do a short amount of time doing something really restrictive. So be realistic. I actually was thinking, sorry, I'm waffling, but I was thinking about goals, Andy, and I was like, what would be better probably for January is setting some goals that seem completely irrelevant to your main goal, maybe a little bit pointless, but they have a massive ripple effect. So being like, every day this year without fail, I'm going to do this one thing. But that one thing could be like, I'm going to get ready for work the night before, something simple like that. And I was like, if you did that, you'd feel so good in the morning. You'd be in such a good mood already that, and it's realistic. You could definitely do that. You're not putting too much pressure on yourself, but if you consistently did that on your work days, like you'd feel good. I was like, maybe goals should be like that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's like there's like these arbitrary goals that you can tick off. If you can tick them off and it's a box tick, that's more motivation for you because you've got another box tick, doesn't it? So it kind of you stoke your own fire basically. You start
Yeah.
kind of building onto it. So yeah,
And I think you
absolutely,
prove
100%.
something to yourself as well, don't you? That you
Yeah.
can do things that you say you're going to do. You can. I did it. One of my things that I do every evening is we've got this, makes it sound so English, but we've got this tea maker that I can set, and it dips the tea leaves down and then it
Mm.
brings them out when it's, so I like my tea, but I set it every evening without fail. And to begin with, I was like, oh, that just feels good because I've got a cup of tea in the morning. And I was like, it does a couple of other things actually. It gets me thinking about the next day without even having to sit down and probably think about the next day. It gets me transitioning from whatever daytime shit I've been doing into evening shit. And then I think it just is that one thing that I'm like, I am always going to do one thing to make tomorrow feel a bit better for future me. And she's always thankful. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
But
that's,
yeah, but
that's it though.
I mean, I've seen some shit content around it recently that I feel is not even intended in a
Is
diet
it
culture way,
Is
but
it
it
is
really,
it
really is.
me, or is social media just becoming even again? Is it's going through a phase of just being full of fucking horseshit again though? Like I don't know what's going on, but like some of the stuff I'm seeing at the moment is just like far too many business coaches driving around in rented supercars claiming that they're making fucking £3 million a month. It's like fucking why am I seeing this shit? I don't want to see this shit. I'm actually to the point now I'm just reporting them for like hate crimes and stuff like that. Just like, do you know what? I'm going to report them for a hate crime or for racism or homophobia or something like that. There you go, boof. That's how you get rid
or,
of it. Fucking
or,
bye.
or
So
just
I
misinformation. But
Yeah,
no,
exactly. No, that's too nice for them. You've got to go. If they could put terrorism in there, I'd jam them. They're reporting for terrorism. That's fucking get them absolutely.
I've not been getting as many of those, not the business coaches. I get them in my inbox, kind of going, have you thought about supercharging your whatever you're going to supercharge? So I get them there, but I haven't had that many coming up. I'm getting a lot of people making videos, but actually what I am seeing is a lot of people saying those old messages of it's the same for everyone, stop making excuses. And or there are bad foods, that type of messaging. And I'm like, oh, it's people that are missing the nuance. Maybe people that I don't want to say if you've not had children you don't understand, because you can have the same
But
stress.
that is a
It's a
massive definer of most of these fucking wallopers. They live at home with mum and dad. Mum and dad still cook their dinner. So they've got no dependents and they have no idea what it takes to be able to have a family, run that family, still be able to go and look after yourself, get out and train, eat properly, also cooking for somebody, for other people. It's
I
very
think
funny because you do
yeah.
just sit and go, man, fucking, we've been over this 5 years ago. We've been over all this crap already, and you're bringing the same crap argument back. Shut
But
up.
people believe it. And this one guy earlier, and actually I saw him because somebody was using him to kind of go, not quite. So he didn't actually come up on my feed. But what he was saying is anyone that says that there isn't a one size fits all approach is a liar, because there is. Now, I get what he was trying to say, because obviously if you are in a calorie deficit and you're doing some strength training, but what he was saying is everyone should be able to strength train 3 times a week. Everyone should be able to do 90 minutes of walking every day, and everyone should be able to be in a calorie deficit. That is the approach that everyone needs to do. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. There isn't a one size fits all though, because people that are nowhere near that and have got very busy lives and are feeling like they can hardly get up and do a 10-15 minute walk aren't going to feel like that is accessible at all, and therefore they will feel like, what is the point? Why do I even bother starting? And so
Yeah.
there's nuance in everything. Like he's talking about the optimal, but the optimal is what you can actually do realistically now, and then you can look to build. So yeah, it might be
Yeah.
optimal to be getting that much in, but like you don't always get optimal in every day of the week or every week of the year. I mean, in fact, sometimes I
And
think it's
that
good to purposely not be optimal so that you can see that nothing terrible happens for the week or two that you're not.
That's it. I'd met up with a client and a friend yesterday, Robin, and we were discussing exactly that. Like it's all very well and all very good, and I find it impressive when somebody has structure and routine to their day and their week. It means that they can stick to everything they're needing to do. I am more impressed by somebody that when the shit hits the fan can switch hit and doesn't allow that, when the shit hits the fan, to upset their stuff. So if something happens and the shit hits the fan, you have to be flexible, and you may have to train at a different time. You may not be able to train that day because the kids have you've just been called into the school because the kids are ill and they need to come home. That's more, for me, that's more impressive, is the flexibility to be able to go, do you know what? It's just something that's happened. It's that having a little bit of rhino hide and just letting the water roll off your back and go, do you know what? Yeah, I've been dealt by my shit hand in the last couple of days, but you know what? I
It's
can make things work around it.
I had a check-in today, a girl that had been ill, and she was like, I've been ill for a bit, blah, blah, blah. I'm starting to feel better now. So I've scheduled my workouts in the app and I've already done one of them. And I was like, that's amazing. It's proof that they are just a habit for you now. You haven't let getting ill for that. This would have happened a while back, getting ill would have been like, what's the point?
Yeah,
But she's gone straight back in as soon as she's felt better. Now, obviously we can ease back in, but the point is she's like, right, I feel like I can again now. And I think when you're poorly or when the kids are ill or when things, and you're just starting and just building, when you lose that element of control, it can feel quite scary, because you're like, I'm going to struggle to get it back again. Or it can feel like I just started and now I'm going to be starting from scratch again because I've taken this bit of time off. But it's not like that, because we're looking at over time, and you're not planning on just doing this in total for 8 weeks. You're planning on doing it long term. So long term, that short period of illness isn't going to make a difference at all. But
exactly. I think that's the thing you've got to look at as well, though, isn't it? It's one of those ones where, excuse me, it could be very easy to let things get on top of you, and they can do it. Excuse me, but the most important thing is just giving yourself, being a bit empathetic towards yourself and not beating yourself up.
yeah, and that's, I think, making choices knowing that they work for you. I think that we can just get into reaction mode, especially around this time of year, and we're saying yes to keep other people happy, or just because our brain is so full and all of the other jobs and traveling and all that we've got to do, that we just start saying yes and just picking and doing. It's just like, even just stopping and taking a breath and being like, actually, am I doing this for me? Or am I just reacting because it's Christmas time and blah, blah, blah. Having that 2 minutes, even 5 minutes to yourself, actually. I feel like sometimes I just need
Exactly.
time alone. Just leave me alone.
Yes, especially at this
Hi.
time of year as well, because obviously things get so busy and you're surrounded by people the whole time. So taking 10 minutes
Social
to
fatigue.
yourself by, yeah, going out, going out into the fresh air, getting a walk. That's kind of one reason why I do the cooking, so I can take myself away to the kitchen by myself. Two, it's a great reason. It's a great thing about having a dog. Dog needs to get walked. I'm going to go and walk the dog in the fresh air by myself. If it's raining, if it's snowing, whatever, rain or shine, dog needs to go out. It's good to have that little bit. And at the end of the day, what we have to realize as well, like, yes, holidays are there for spending time with family, but also holidays are there to be able to give yourself a bit of a break as well. So don't feel bad about taking yourself away for half an hour and just having a bit of time to you. Like it can be quite a tough time of year for a lot of people because not everybody likes Christmas. Probably up until meeting Laura, Christmas I couldn't be, but Christmas for me wasn't a big thing because as a kid, Christmas was always just an argument. Cause so it may change, it may not. For me, it has changed because obviously Laura, and then obviously now having the wee man and stuff like that. Christmas has become a bigger part of my life again. But that's not to say that when I was younger, it grated. So yeah, it's a tough time of year for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons.
And I think that's something that's always worth remembering. My husband, I think, he didn't do Christmas at all, really, growing up, because of his circumstances, whereas I did. So, and I think for me, I used to put quite a lot of pressure on that build up to Christmas feeling good, and then Christmas itself would be an anticlimax. But having been a bit busier, I don't feel like I'm necessarily getting that like build up that I would have normally got. But
Yeah,
I am really aware, and sometimes that other people aren't happy for whatever reason at this time of year. And that does two things, Andy. It either makes me feel just really sad. I don't know, that content just gets me when I see people struggling at this time of year. I'm like, oh no, like you just want to help people. But also then I'm like, should I hold back a little bit on the messaging that we're putting out, making out that everyone's happy? And actually I decided not to, but I think it is just being aware that this is a challenging time for a lot
yeah.
of
It's
people.
it's social media. I had this discussion with a client this morning, and like, I, there's a lot of stuff that still goes on social media that is basically just smoke and mirrors. You get people talking about how happy they are, and actually they're just a bag of shite because they're just miserable the whole time. But they put a face in it. With so many people have become actors on social media now because that's basically what they do. They basically lie about what's actually going on. You know, you love Christmas, you enjoy the run up to it, you enjoy that. Don't portray anything other than that on social media because that's not being true to yourself. you know but
But I think
that's the kind of thing you've got to.
it's also you can love it and enjoy it but still get stressed by it. Like I
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
so.
absolutely.
I mean you could be driving up to Skye and trying to work that out, but no, I think
That's going to be a long drive. How have you Google Maps it yet?
yes, I think it's 12, like if we weren't stopping at all it's like 12 and a half hours,
Are you
but
are you
we
doing
are.
like a midway stop somewhere?
Yeah, but we're actually going to stop twice because we want to get there in daylight. We're actually going to stay in Fort William the night before we want to get there
Nice.
so that we can get the Highlands done. So we're going to do two stops. We're doing one stop and then we'll go into Glasgow, have some lunch or whatever, and then drive over the
Yep.
Highlands before it's like we're not trying to do it all in one day,
Get yourself up Ben Nevis.
I mean, I would love to do that. There's going to be good walks in Skye, aren't there? But
Yeah, there's some good walks in Skye. You've got some real beautiful bits of Skye. Like go have a wee Looney Duke in the fairy pools.
I'm going to send you a little picture, Andy, as to this is from a lookout point. You can see where we're staying, and I've just sent it to you on WhatsApp. And it's the little white dot is where we're staying in that picture, which will show you how
Holy
remote it
crap!
is. Yeah.
That's class.
So what
That's
Andy is
that's
looking
my
at
that's my absolute dream though. Like that would be a dream for me.
right,
I'd
here,
love that chat.
what do you think about, so my
I'll see
husband's
you
like,
there.
would take, yeah, I know, right? Come hang out. My husband was like, take your swim stuff because we're definitely going to do a Boxing Day dip. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He was
Well,
like,
you're
we've
right.
got to.
You're right. You're right. You're literally in the water. You're going
It,
to have to do a Boxing Day dip.
but it's Scotland in the winter, Andy. And
There's
I,
mad bastards jumping the Firth of Forth on New Year's Day, so pretty sure you could do it on Skye and Boxing Day. You'll be
I
fine.
mean, it's a sea loch, which I reckon would be better than fresh water. That's what I was thinking.
It's also weirdly because it's on the west coast, you might get a bit of the Gulf Stream as well coming in there. So if you go further north, there actually is a bit warmer water because of the currents coming across and the warmer
Yes.
water coming off the back of it. So, but
So,
I'm not going to hold my breath for you. I think it's going to be
oh,
pretty
look at,
cold.
well, it's not going to be frozen, is it? It's not going to be,
No,
but
no, a sea loch will
when
not freeze.
we went to Canada years ago, and I remember going in the sea in the Pacific Ocean, and the girl there was like, oh, we've got this thing where we go in every month of the year for a dip. And I was like, oh, wow, in the winter in Canada. And she was like, no, it's the Pacific doesn't change temperature very much at all. So in the winter, you're getting in, and the sea actually feels almost warmer than the
Yeah.
outside air. And I was like, I know it's not going to be like that, but in my head I'm like, maybe it won't feel too bad.
That's how to delude yourself into getting into the water. And when you hit the water, start screaming and you jump out, at least you've done it.
I go blue. Actually, I always have, and I thought everyone did until people started looking at me weirdly. So if I go for a run and I get cold, my lips go completely blue. So I'm definitely going to go blue.
Ruth becomes a smurf.
I know, exactly. And people are like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What? Yeah. So that will be fun. Yes, but
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm lying at Andy. I'm convincing myself I'm excited. This is something I love, this type of thing, but it's just the logistics. It's just that,
Yeah.
and whether it's going to have frozen pipes and things like that. It's not like a luxury accommodation at all. So yeah, but it will be good. But yeah, I guess people, if we could make a request for social media at the moment, it would be understand that everyone's got different lives and that most people want to be doing this, that, and the other, but not every week's going to be the same. So just, I think shame is never, ever the right approach to getting people to do something. If shame was to going to work to get us to change our minds, then we would be there already. Everybody would be there because we've all felt shame.
I'd have an 8-pack all year. I'd have an 8-pack all year round.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, sorry, I'm glad you mentioned it in that way and made me feel a little bit bad about it. I'll be able to do it now.
Yeah, that's it. It's also as well. I always the people that are put. It seems to be the people that put that. It's not people who. It's not folk of me and your kind of, shall we say, experience rather than age. It's always somebody who's 19 and has.
Although
and you're just like, fucking shut up.
But I did also see a lady who's got a big following and is in her 50s. I'm not going to say who it is, like very big following. And she said she put a picture of her on one side and another one of 2 videos. And she was like, I've lost 4 inches in 4 weeks. Or maybe she said centimeters. Sign up to see how I did it. And I was like, but that's not...
A Zempic!
Well, to be fair, I don't think it was. I think it, but what more to me, I'm like, she will have done it the same way that you can do everything. She just will have restricted even more. And I'm like, can we make it so that we're not trying to achieve like really fast results? Because faster results can still happen when you're going a bit or taking the pressure off a bit. But those types of things, I'm like, oh, can we not push the lose 4 inches in 4 weeks or 4 centimeters in 4 weeks? I'm sure that she went probably lower carb to reduce a bit of water weight. I don't think it will all have been body fat. But the point is, especially at this time of year, I'm like, oh, don't feel like you've got to just do that. You will lose weight. It will work. But you also put it back on again. It's just so damaging long term, and she was in her 50s and I was like, oh, are we doing it now as well? When you get to your 40s and 50s, are we still putting out those messages? I was kind of hoping that we'd understand that life can mean that we'll do that. And then I don't know, I just feel a bit of a responsibility for people. I think that they not only achieve, and I know you're the same, you want them to achieve their goals, but actually feel good
Yeah.
feel good while
You
you're
want to
doing
you
it
want
and
to
feel good when
you
they're
want to
there.
educate them. Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
educate them. You want to teach them how to do it for themselves. And the fact
And make
that
it less,
yeah, yes, yeah, less stressful.
yeah, I think that's it.
But
And
it
I
shouldn't
think
be
the thing is,
stressful. It should be enjoyable.
that's the thing. And actually, I think that's something that we don't always realize. And maybe our generation are worse for that because we've kind of been shown that things have to be really hard to achieve, like you've got to go all in. But actually, if you just started living the lifestyle that you imagine the person who you want to be is going to be living, so that doing that you can imagine doing long term, the habits and behaviors that you want to keep that are going to make you feel good, and you just keep on doing those, you will start making progress. Now, it might be that you get to a point because you're being like, maybe you're being, sometimes you're not in a calorie deficit, sometimes you are, whatever, or you just get to the point where you're sitting at maintenance and you have a question to ask yourself. Do I want to push harder and then have to actually stop doing something else that I really enjoy doing? Or am I actually thinking, oh, I've got to this point, I'm feeling really good, my body has changed as well, which is a bonus, or do I want to stop eating that cake in, I don't know, a few times a week? And if you don't, that's fine. If you want to carry on eating the cake and stay where you are, which is kind of where I think I am, I'm at a point where I do have those sorts of foods now and again. I'm not going to be super restrictive, and because of that, maybe I'm not I'm definitely not my leanest, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's just it, isn't it? It's at the end of the day, the number one thing is about being happy and comfortable in yourself, and I think that's kind of one of the most important things. But kind of obviously we've been talking about Christmas, but are you a resolution setter for the new year, or are you a reevaluation of goals, or have you got anything that you're wanting to achieve next year?
World domination. No.
We're in.
Where's it? Okay. I go through stages. So I remember chatting to Claire Tracy. So that's Claire, who Andy and myself both worked with on a podcast like a couple of years ago. I think it would be, or maybe a year, and maybe, no, it would have been a couple of years ago, and being like, I don't want to set any New Year's resolutions or something like that. And because I realized that I thought that New Year's resolutions always had to be about health and fitness in my head. That's the only goals I'd ever set had been about changing my body in some way or increasing my fitness in some way. And then I think she was chatting and saying she was doing Duolingo. And I was like, I suppose I could set a completely non-related goal. And I did Duolingo, and I'm still actually doing it. I'm at a ridiculous 2-year streak kind of thing coming up now.
What are you learning?
I'm doing Spanish, but Andy, anyone that's thinking about doing Duolingo as a New Year's resolution, don't do it, because I don't think I'm any better at Spanish, but I'm just don't want to lose my streak, which is a ridiculous reason to keep going. So don't do it, because now I've got this 600 and something day streak. I feel like compelled to carry on.
And
So
if somebody
that,
spoke to you in Spanish, you would have no idea what they were saying.
I mean, I might have an idea, but I'm not going to be great considering how often I've done it.
Yep.
So I wouldn't recommend. But I think my goals going into January, I think I am going to think about it, and I do want to go more for those habits that are going to help me feel mentally calmer, because I am so guilty of, even though I think I'm kind of better than I used to be and I can be reflective, I'm so guilty of getting excited about things and then not being able to switch off. So I think it's like enforced downtime is going to be something that I need to try and work out how I can create a habit that, even if it's just a
That's
habit
good
of doing
shit.
something 5 minutes a day. Because I think
Yeah.
that will have a big ripple effect to how I feel with everything else. What about you?
I was thinking about this. So in terms of like health and fitness stuff, I'm still kind of swithering whether or not to like try and do a photo shoot at some point, kind of maybe March,
Mhm.
April time. In terms of other just other everyday stuff, 2026, I'm going to try and push a bit more back on the comedy again, because I've obviously had a bit of a kind of 2 year hiatus with having the wee guy, so it's time to get my arse back into things. And I've got a couple of gigs already kind of lined up, kind of February, March. So I'm going to try and gig maybe 2 to 3 times a month. Um, as a regular thing. So two minimum. So I'm wanting to do two kind of open mics, slightly kind of smaller stings, twice a month, and then work towards kind of March. So yeah, I think that's going to kind of be the one on that one. And then apart from that, a daily one of just being a good dad more than anything else. Keeping
That's
the wee man from running in front of cars and stuff. That's probably my best bet.
it's a good idea to be that, but I think that's the thing with health and fitness. So I would quite like to book into another High Rocks at some point and do that. But I think that it is good to have those other things that we think about, because there is more to life for everyone than just health and fitness. So having those little reminders of be a good dad, do that thing that makes me feel like I'm doing something else, like the comedy, and then also do something that makes me feel like I'm doing something for my own health, my body, whatever. Those are kind of getting in those areas that make Andy Andy. You know, you're not just a health and fitness guy. There's more to you than that. I'm listening to a book at the moment, and I know you're not big on like self-help books, but you might like this one. It's called Life and Laughter, and it's a Jimmy Carr one. And it's
I've read a couple of Jimmy Carr's other books and stuff, and they're usually pretty good. There's actually been quite a few reels of his popping up on my social media for some
he's a
reason,
smart
and he's
guy.
not talking about comedy. It's talking about
Mm.
stuff like a bit more kind of political stuff, etc. And actually, it kind of makes a lot of sense for a lot of it, which is unusual because most of these politicians that we've got nowadays make no fucking sense whatsoever.
But you might enjoy it
Go
because
figure.
he's done NLP practitioner, so that's neuro linguistic programming. So he is talking about like the psychology, but he does refer back to his journey into becoming a stand-up comedian. And so when as you're going back into that, like he talks about the you know that we don't see the bad jokes. You know, you only see the ones they've practiced again and again and again, and all of that. And that for him, he did it pre-children. You know, maybe he would have had to do it slower if he'd done it after. But I find it quite an interesting book because although he is linking it back to his journey with comedy, so it's a little bit of what happened in his life, but it's more about lessons learned. You know, in fact, he's like,
Yeah,
you know, that whole thing about if the definition of insanity is if you keep doing the same thing that didn't work again and again. And he briefly talks about that. And this is what I say to people and what I see with women. I work with women mainly, but with anyone that is successful in their goals, is when we fail, it isn't a case of there's a difference between going, oh, I fucked up again, that's okay, I'll start again Monday, and forgiving yourself. You do want to forgive yourself, but there is that importance of reflection, isn't there? And just being like, well, why did it happen? Not to give yourself a hard time. And this is what he was chatting about. Like, why did that happen? Why did I fuck up there? And how can I make sure it's not happening every week? And we
yeah.
learn something. And
Yeah,
that's
it's learning lessons though, isn't it? And I think that's the kind of biggest issue is that if people are continuously failing, you're not taking something from the failures. You need to keep, if you fail, you need to learn something from it and use that to help guide you forward. And I think it's the same across life.
mm.
If something doesn't go right, learn something from it and move on. That's just the way it is. I think we're all very quick to start, use that as a way to beat ourselves up. When in actual fact, every loss you have, every loss I've made, every loss I've had, I've learned something from. I've not enjoyed the loss, and I never will enjoy losing. But you learn something from it. That's basically how it works.
It can take a little bit of time sometimes to be able to
Takes
realize
a bit of
the
time. You've
lessons
got to be able to be a bit of self-introspective as well. You've got to be able to kind of really break down your own thoughts on this one rather than being the egotistical. Like when I was younger, oh, that wasn't my fault. That wasn't my fault. Well, actually, let's have a look at it. Was it my
or it's
fault? Do
harder
I,
for you. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's having that kind of thought process of let's take what I can out of it and build from there. So, yeah.
It took
No,
me
that sounds
so
pretty good.
long.
You'll need to send that over to me because I'm
I
quite
will.
interested in that one.
And he talks about estranged parents as well, which I find interesting because he's talking about it from a point of view of like people will tell you want to sort that out, and actually you don't. You don't have to. So I think that
this, this is exactly why one of my big ones is the fact that you got to be very picky about who you let into your life, and that includes fuckwit family members. Sorry, like I have previous with this as well, as I know you do too, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's all very well and good. I remember having this discussion with numerous people. You should really rebuild the bridge, not my fucking bridge to build. Simple as
You're gonna
that.
love the
Like, and
book.
that may sound pretty horrible and stuff from my side, but there's a reason why I'm doing that one is because I've got nothing to shoot.
No,
I've got nothing
no.
to worry about. Oh, you're packing all your trauma away and just keeping it for later. My boxes have been
No.
packed with trauma and they've all been burnt. I have no issues with them anymore. They're gone. Simple as.
You can, yeah, and I think that's it's not that you're burying it deep, it's that you understand and you've
Yeah,
had that conversation with yourself. And, you know, you can even understand it from their point of view, but you also know the negative impact that can have on your life. So it's kind
yeah,
of going, yeah, cool. I feel
100%.
sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. I feel sad that they are in that situation. However, they are in that situation and I am protecting myself and my family. And that is
Yeah,
where I am. So
exactly.
it's not that you're not dealing with it. It's that no, I am, and that's as far as
You've
it can
dealt with
get.
it. Yeah, you've dealt with it, and that's something that it's not you that has to deal with the other end of that one. Like,
No, you can
it's
forgive them, like as in forgive, as in at a distance. You can be like, I'm not going to let this bother me. Like it's not my
exactly.
problem. It's yeah. But anyway, so he talks about that. But I think it will be a really good book for you to listen to. I say listen,
Oh,
it's read by
definitely.
him, which I think means that it's better to listen as
Even
well.
funnier because his voice, his does he laugh in it? Because his laugh's obviously hilarious.
He hasn't done his typical laugh,
As you know,
but he
because it's
does
funny because
refer.
I always love the fact
He's
that he
like,
goes, I laugh on an in, not an out.
yeah, it's like he does.
He
It's
goes,
exactly it. He goes, no, he says things like, if he said, you know, you're noticing people coming quickly, he's like your mother. He says things like that, or he likes this serious thing, and dick jokes. That comes up a lot as well. But no big laughters. Yeah, I think I've got like about an hour left. But I know it's good because I listen to it when I'm running and I'm not running today. And I was like, well, maybe I'll change my day and do because I wanted to listen to the book. But
you want to keep
yeah,
going at it.
I'm really enjoying it. It was the right level before Christmas because it's not too deep and serious, so
Yeah,
it felt good for me. But you know, a little book review there, Andy. And I think
always good.
you want to touch on, are you training going well at the moment? We've talked about Christmas, we've slagged off the internet a little bit. Standard.
Yeah, training's been going pretty well. Changed up my program. I am currently injured though, so that's always fun. I
Oh,
decided
whereabouts?
to tear my adductor. So I kind of have I had a bruise that stretched from my left testicle right the way down to my inside of my knee. Um,
That's a
so yeah,
painful one. Was
it's
it
a painful one. Yeah,
Football?
it was football, but it was the most innocuous thing ever. Basically planted my foot to take a shot, and my standing foot, all I heard in my hip was just like a pop and crackle. I scored, which I'm more than happy with, but then I basically just salmon flopped onto the deck. I just stood still and just went, "Bleh," dropped out like a tree because I was like, I don't want to bend my leg at the moment because it doesn't feel like it's going to be very good. And then one of the lads was playing in goal, and he was like the other end of the pitch, and he was like, "Was that noise you?" I was like, "Yeah, it was my hip." So
Oh,
basically, the that was a Friday night. On the Saturday and the Sunday, there was a wee touch of bruising, like nothing spectacular. And then on the Monday morning, I went and got some arnica from ASDA, which if you don't know what arnica is like one of the most amazing things for bringing out bruising in the world. It's ridiculously quick. So basically, trained in the morning, did a bit of upper body, put some arnica on after the shower in the gym, and then literally as I was getting ready for bed, I took my trousers down. I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Like my whole of my inner thigh and like round the back was black. So I
properly.
saw my physio Sean on the Tuesday, and he was like, "Right," he goes, "You need to go and try." He goes, "That could be grade two, like grade three. If it's grade three, that's like you'll need surgery." I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "I don't think it is because I can move it and certainly I can abduct, I can adduct without weight at the moment, so I can move it. There's not a movement
How
as
long
such
ago
that
was it?
stops." So that's been a week and a half. So I've first day today on the good girl, bad girl machine, the adductor and
I
abductor
know
machine.
exactly, and I've seen them being used all sorts of ways. So, which way are you
Yes,
using it?
yes, properly. So I was doing the adductor machine. So I tried it on the Tuesday when he'd said to me, "Right, you need to try something and see how it is." Tried it at 4.5 kilos, which is the lightest weight. And I tried to do it and I shit, it felt like somebody was like reaching inside reaching inside me and pulling my testicle out of the in my
Are
hip
you
joint. I
sure?
was like, oh, but
Are you sure
tried
it's
it
not
back.
grade
I've been
three?
no. So I was doing like some adduction work, just like using a Swiss ball and just like squeezing the Swiss
Yeah.
ball. So partial movement. So I was doing that. So I've been doing that. I did some bodyweight squats on the TRX on Thursday last week, and then I actually went on to the good girl, bad girl machine today and managed 4.5 kilos for 5 sets of 12. So I'm guessing I'm probably going to end up with cramp at some point tonight or excruciating pain because obviously I haven't done anything too much on legs for the last 2 weeks or a week and a
Um,
half. So yeah, but
the
it's
wall
getting better.
balls
It's
can be
getting better,
quite
which is good.
wall balls can be quite good for
The only
isometrically
issue with the
type
wall
things.
ball is, yeah,
It's
is
too
the
narrow.
fact that it's too heavy.
Right.
Or it was at the time, it was too heavy because I would have to hold the weight between my legs
Yeah.
and between my knees, whereas a Swiss ball, it's sitting on the floor.
It's
So I
so
could put my
light.
heels underneath it and so I could play with
I
it
was
that way.
thinking lying on your back, you see, doing it like that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
can I just clarify something? So
Go.
good girl would be adductor.
A bad girl abductor, yeah.
Yeah, legs
Good
apart,
girl, bad girl
legs
machine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
just
best, it's
checking.
the one where it's the one when you're doing either of them, just give someone really long and
Intense.
like uninterrupted eye contact. Just give them like that little 10 seconds longer than you should just to freak them out.
I would be rubbish at that anyway, because I remember going on like one of these team building things and you had to stare into the eyes of a stranger like for as long as you could. I was rubbish at it. I think there's that social, I don't know. I could stare into my husband's eyes and try and make him feel awkward but complete stranger, I was like doing it and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this very much. I was like, what is wrong with me? I don't know. Just a weirdo, Andy. Just a weirdo. But there
Yeah.
we go.
Or am I the weirdo for being able to do that? That's what the question you have to ask.
No, I think we could probably say that is a safe bet too. But what I've also discovered that
Yeah.
is everyone I like is a little bit weird.
Oh, we're all
So
mad. We're all mad.
yeah, we're all
Everybody's
mad
mad
here.
to a certain. We're all mad to a certain degree.
I think so.
It's how much you embrace it or how much you try to hide it. I just embrace my madness. It's good. It's fine.
I want to be able to, so I can do it on like longer form stuff like this. But I wish I could show like my madness more freely in other, areas. I'm like, I'm not. I think when I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, it's very hard, like on social media, to show your personality like properly because you've got like 3 seconds to hook people in, and I am not somebody, unlike Andy, who would go straight in with like a witty retort. I would be kind of waiting
Slow
for the
burn.
cue. Yeah, waiting for the cue from someone else. And then I'd say something really inappropriate. I'm much better, but I'd say something without thinking. That would be my typical thing. And my husband would be like, Ruth! And I'm like, oh, sorry, that's rude. But
You're
it
saying that it's a
depends.
bad thing.
I know, well, it's okay, around when it's friends and family and stuff, but probably I have learned to wait. But I wish I could sometimes
Yeah.
do it a bit more.
I think it's one of those ones, isn't it? I think it's you kind of just embrace your weirdness.
I
Everybody's
know.
weird. Everybody's got some weird thing that they do or that is part of them. Just embrace it, man.
I
Fuck it.
think,
Life's too short to try and hide that shit.
well, you know what? Just you're saying exactly what Jimmy Carr would say as well. But actually, it's true. And I think as I've got older, I definitely care less. I think I realized that when I was younger, I cared so much more, and I don't care as much anymore. I'm kind of
Yeah, I think
happier with who I am.
once you can get past that fact that you start worrying about what other people think, it's an absolute game changer. Like I'll be
Mm.
honest, like I know I'd say this regularly, but I've never given a fuck about what anybody else thinks. I've always said what I've thought to my detriment at times. Like
Have you
I
really?
remember, yeah, even at school, like I remember at school, I don't know if I've ever told you this one at school, and it may paint me in a bit of a sort of a bit of not a nice light, but I remember I went to a different high school than everybody I went to primary school with because it was just easier for my dad to get me there in terms of where he worked and stuff. So I went to a completely different high school, and it was a high school that was like I'd always played football. This was a big rugby school, so I went to high school, big rugby school. right, I'm going to play rugby, cool. So a couple of lads in my year obviously started kind of making fun of me and stuff like that, and kind of like leaving shots and stuff on the rugby pitch. And I got home to my dad one day. I was like maybe about 2 weeks or 3 weeks in. I remember going to my dad and going, Dad, I think I'm getting bullied. And he went, well, fucking deal with it then. And I went, okay, cool. Didn't think anything of it. Went back the next day and went full. I don't know if do you remember Vinnie Jones in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels when he puts the boy's
Yes.
head in the car door and starts slamming the car door? I started doing that with a locker door and battered the pair of them. So I got home from school that day and was like, Dad, I've dealt with it. And he went, brilliant. He goes, what happened? I goes, I think I got suspended and handed him over a letter, a 2-week suspension from school for kicking lumps at him. Never bothered me again. So yeah, probably went a little bit over the top, but
I mean, I have to be honest, Andy, that has never happened to me. But I do think I was sometimes unaware when people were trying to be mean to me in school. I never got bullied in school, but I think now I look back, I'm like, oh, there probably were people being mean, but I would be very much like, why are you doing that? That's weird. Like, why are you being weird? And so I don't think it registered. It seems so stupid that I didn't get offended by it. And I see it with my youngest son now. Like he just is unaware that when people are trying to be mean to him, he doesn't really get it. He's like, what are they doing? The weird, like, that's strange behavior. And he doesn't care because he was at rugby the other day and they're meant to get into their like shirts and tie to go into the rugby club afterwards. And he didn't have his. And the only thing in the car was a yellow Pokemon onesie, like an adult size Pokemon onesie that was his brother's, isn't now his. And my husband was like, well, you can put that on if you want. And he was like, yeah, okay. Put it on, walked in and like didn't bat an eyelid. And then he just felt that everyone must be jealous because he was comfortable. He didn't even think like, and I wouldn't have been like that. He was like,
that's it though, man. It's like, it's one thing just as soon as you can throw off the shackles of worrying about what other people think, life's a hell of a lot easier. It really is.
I think, so, I don't know if women do it more than men, but I'm definitely care less, but I did used to care far too much. So there we go. So we can enjoy life more without that, which feels good. Anyway, and what have you got? It's coming up to 3:00 in the afternoon here, Andy. What are your plans? King? Fish back sunny?
No, work done for the day. Wee man's due to get up from his nap in about 10-15 minutes. So I've got a few household chores I need to do between now and then. Chuck a washing out, get the fire up, and then yeah, that's about it. So how about yourself? You got much on?
I'm going to be doing a later workout today, but I'm okay with that. That's fine. And I have got to finish editing another podcast that I did with a member the other day, and
nice.
a little bit of editing. Yeah, I've got bits to do, but nothing bad. It's all good. And then getting ready to go away. But it's all good.
Always good. When do you head away?
Yes, Saturday. What day is it now?
Saturday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. So plenty time.
I know. The thing is, I do kind of get a bit complacent with things like that. Like as in packing, I'm like, and then suddenly I'm like, oh shit, got to do it all today.
Look,
so
Laura's different. Laura, we're going skiing at the end of January, and like Laura will start packing in like the 2nd of January. She's like, oh, when are you going to pack? I'm like, literally the day before.
Yeah.
Why the fuck? I've got stuff I need to wear between now and then. Like I'm not packing now. Because she's like, I'm counting out holidays. I'm like, I'm self-employed. I don't stop working. I'm going to be working when I'm there. So don't you know what you're getting so excited about?
I've always loved to be that type of person that can be that organised with that type of thing. So it can be organised with some things, but that's not it. Like I've got members that finished doing their Christmas shopping at the start of December. And I'm like, I'd love to be like that, but I'm still doing stuff now.
So, that's it, exactly.
Anyway, cool. Would you like to do the honours, Andy? Can you remember what to say?
Yeah, I think so. Or kind of. Yeah, I can. As always, if you have liked the podcast, and even if you haven't liked the podcast, just give us a 5-star rating. It's Christmas. You know, I can come and start singing. Yeah, exactly. Charity starts by giving us a 5-star rating. Otherwise, I'll come to your house and I'll start singing Mariah Carey, and that will not be good for anybody, and I'll find out who you are. I'm joking. Or am I joking? That's the thing you've got to ask yourself.
Well, you just say you're honest.
It's like it's Andy's naughty and nice list. Never mind Santa's naughty and nice list. Andy's naughty and nice list.
Yeah.
Don't be on that one.
Throwing coal
but as always, exactly. But as always, yeah, if you can give us wherever you get your podcast, just give us a 5-star rating. It means that it's much easier for people to find us, and that people might pick up on stuff that might need some help. You can catch a hold of us on social media. Ruth is Ruth Mac Fit, which is MAC, and I am Andy_Wolfpack, and we will hopefully be back sooner than we did the last one.
Yeah, maybe between Christmas and New Year, before you go away skiing anyway, that is for sure.
Sounds like a good plan.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. Goodbye.
Ciao.